What's up? I'm back. Thanks again for joining. I'm the Zim. This is the Zim video. This is my rideshare experience video series. This is part 57. Did you miss me? Thanks for watching. It's been a few weeks since I did one of these, and I'm doing this one for two reasons, which I'll get to in a minute. I'm an artist musician from Seattle, and I'm currently living in San Diego, and I use Lyft as my primary source of income. And this is how it's all been playing out. So I always do my intros and my shout outs to people that are been engaging to this show. Mostly on the side column there's boxes that denote where in the video we are. If you want to scroll ahead to the main topic, then watch the color of that change, or you can use the timeline, or in the description of this video there'll be a timestamp. You can click on it and take you straight to the main topic. Today's main topic is taxes and how it all played out. So we'll get into that in a moment, but like I said, be sure to subscribe to this video. I think it's right there. Click the little subscribe button that pops up if you're on desktop or wherever, or go into the page and click subscribe. I'm creeping on 1,000 subscribers. I need to get there before I can become a YouTube partner again and get paid for this channel again. So your help is awesome. Thanks for doing that. And if you want to support this whole process, in the description of this video is my Patreon. So I haven't got anybody to sign up for my Patreon yet, so maybe you could be the first. Help me make more videos and stuff. And music, speaking of, I published a new song that I wrote, and it's on this YouTube channel. It's called Oh Anna. I would love it if you went and checked it out. I'm really proud of it, so hopefully you like it too. Check it out, and you can download it on Bandcamp if you like it. It's the only place that it's available for downloading. The link will be on that video as well. So anyways, let's do shoutouts real quick. U2B Guy, I don't know, G-E-Y-E. Thanks for engaging. Commander Zemon, Cassandra McClure, fan page Popeye on Spinach, Drew Diagle. I don't know. You guys have commented on old rideshare videos. Thanks a lot for doing that. And if you comment on this one, I'll shout out to you next time I do one of these. So let's do it. Also, a driver referral that completed, one of the rare times somebody's actually completed the driver referral bonus. We both got $50. Daniel from Tampa Bay, thanks a lot for doing that. You're the man. I'll mention my referral code at the end of this video and talk to you more about how I'm going to pace out these videos from here on out. So let's get into it. How much I made. This is how much I made this week. So one of the main reasons I'm doing this video is because I'm kind of reporting this stuff on my Instagram now. Every Tuesday I publish how much I made. Like, I do this recap, basically this front side of this video, this how much I made stuff on my Instagram page. And one of my Instagram followers, I want to say Ramos or 777, I can't remember, I didn't write it down. I should have written it down, but I didn't. I was gonna look it up. I'm not gonna. Thanks for asking the question. It's like, well, what did you do different? Because I did something slightly different this week in terms of, well, I'll tell you about it in a second. So as you can see, I broke $1,000, which is awesome, and I did it within that same 5-day schedule, and I basically was doing the same. So broke $1,000. Anything else to say about this? Well, so my heads-up display, it says $1,508.77 because I got $4 in cash tips. So my tip total was $118 total with that $4. I did 136 rides. It took me about 49 hours, little over, slightly over 49 hours to do it. Let's go into the daily breakdown because that's where it really talks to what was going on. So, as you can see, I forget what direction it goes, but on Wednesday, I worked Wednesday through Sunday, and Wednesday through Saturday, I was pretty much right on that 24 rides a day schedule. Like, I was sticking to my schedule, 24 rides, and the first 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, cumulatively, I was making the average of $200 a day, because if you do the math right there, you'll see that that doesn't quite add up to $200 per day, because on Monday and Tuesday, I got some referral driver, like $9 in referral driver money. So that's why that works out. So I was like, okay, cumulatively on Wednesday through Friday, I was averaging $200 a day. I was like, all right, awesome. If I can keep this pace going through the weekend, I can hit a grand again. You know, it's like, please, you know, fingers crossed, let's do this. Saturday came along, and then another thing to note about this whole week, I got my peak time rides completely completed by Friday. So I didn't have to worry about when I had to drive. I only had to worry about getting rides in. I didn't have to go, well, I have to be out Saturday night because I have to, you know. So by Friday night, I was like, good, I got my peak time rides out of the way. And I did that, so I did squeak out a few. I did like 28 rides on Friday because I wanted to get those peak time rides completely done. I was like, I don't want to be thinking about when I have to drive. I just want to be able to drive. So because I did that, Saturday morning I got up early and did the Saturday morning thing. Rather than normally I wake up around 9, and just because I know I'm going to have to go into the 5 o'clock hour and later to get more peak time rides, I said, you know what, I'm just going to start early and try to get my rides done as quickly as possible. And then do something with my family, which is what I did. So I got up like 6 or something, got out by like 7, I don't remember exactly when, but I got out early on Saturday and I was cruising along, and I did pretty good. I did good. I broke, you know, my average is usually 150 for 24 rides, and I did better than that. I did like 168 or something like that. But by the time I hit that 168, I was looking at the time. I was like, you know, I just want to spend time with my kids. I'd like to have movie night. So I didn't worry about it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't get that $1,000, you know, week this week. Maybe it won't happen. I was okay with it because I wanted to, you know, watch it with my daughter. Wanted to watch Pacific Rim, so the first original one, which is the inspiration for my tattoo. But so we watched it. We watched Pacific Rim, had a good time, popped popcorn and stuff, did that thing. So I was thinking, you know, maybe I won't make it. But then on Sunday, so I got up again, so I was like, okay, let's do it Sunday, do my normal Sunday morning thing. And then I was pacing pretty well, you know, not amazing. I was like, okay, by the time I was around ride 14 or 15, somewhere around there, kind of well into the day, well into my ride count, I was like, yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to make it. I'm just going to do it. But then I got a ride that was fairly long, and it was like a $30 ride. And I was like, it started to get me thinking. I was like, ooh, I could make it. I could have a really great day. And I did. But I'll tell more about the story, because it did. I broke my single day record for money. $311.11 is what I made that day on the app. And so I had a long ride, and it got me thinking, like, wow, if I could get like another long ride like this, that'd be great. So what it did is it brought me into an area I don't normally drive, and I was kind of trying to make my way back to San Diego, but I kept picking up short rides in the area. And what happened was I picked up that same group I drove up, I drove them back down, so that was another $30 basically going back down. And I was like, great, that was awesome, you know. So that's another $60 chunk. And then so I was cruising along, and then, you know, I was like really close to so I was just like, I was feeling good. I was like, I don't feel fatigued. I don't feel like, sometimes when I'm out in the car, like the whole day ended up being like a 13-hour day of in the app time, in the car driving around. So that's a long time. And so I was like, you know, I'm feeling good though, so I'm just going to go as long as I can. And I lucked out kind of, because I was like right on that border. I might have broken $1,000, but you know, I have to make $25 more to actually get $1,000 in my account. And I got in there, and like the second to the last ride I took for the night was an airport ride with 50% prime time, which took me out of the area, so it ended up being another like $30 ride. So I was like, all right, boom, it like totally put me over the top, and I was like, good to go. And then I ended up getting some late tips in after the fact, the day after, and things like that. So it put me well with the above my need to get, like, I need to get $1,025 at least to make $1,000 deposit in my account. So obviously I made about $50 more than that. So it was awesome. So basically what I'm trying to explain to you is, why did I decide to push, the question on my Instagram was, why did I decide to do more rides on Sunday? Because of the pacing. It was pacing out perfectly. It was like stars aligned. Like the whole week was one of those weeks where you could feel like, when you do this job, you know, if things fall into place just perfectly, you could do really good. And it was kind of one of those weeks where things just fell into place just perfectly. And Sunday was an example of that. Like, it didn't feel like the ride pacing, how often I wasn't waiting around for rides very long. I was kind of always on the job. I was always getting rides. And then I was getting a good mix of long rides and things like that. So that the pacing kept me going, kept me energized to keep doing it, and that's why I pushed, because I did a total of like 37. Let's see, I wrote it down, 37 rides on Sunday, which is way above, obviously way above my 24 ride, goal. But because of the way it was pacing, because of how I was making, how it looked like it was projecting toward breaking that $1,000 barrier, it kept me out there, it kept me willing to do more. Because if I didn't get those $30 rides, then I probably would have said, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just do what I did and go home. But because it kept me going. The momentum toward that breaking $1,000 was there, tangible, and I could feel it. Then that's why I decided to stay going. So I hope that answers your question. Ramos, maybe I should look it up. Maybe real quick, I'll look it up. Maybe I'll edit a little bit of this out. As I'm looking it up right now, it was Jorge, I guess. Yeah, Jorge Ramos, 777. I think that's your name, Jorge Ramos, 777. Hope that answers your question. Thanks a lot for asking it on the Instagram. All right, so let's do the hourly breakdown just so you can see. So as you see on Sunday, is it on top or on the bottom? I don't know where. Sunday's on the bottom, I think. It's all blue. Reach all day, all the way across, blue. Because 13 hours, man, that's a lot of time driving, for sure. So that's that. Oh, another thing that may be playing a piece is I'm starting to take multivitamins. And I think they're actually working and helping me feel better about life and stuff. So I've been taking them for about a week, and it's pretty good. So, hey, maybe getting your vitamins might be a game changer. Star rating. So what'll scroll along. So scrolling along is the Friday email. Got a couple of good reviews and things like that. I'll let that scroll along while I talk to you. Because as you know from previous videos, I've been like, what's Lyft going to do about ratings? Me and I think a few other people like to see our second decimal in, and they finally included the second decimal point in our dashboard. So it's in our dashboard now. So basically in the moment, you can see, like if you were that anal about it, you could drop somebody off, wait 5 minutes, go to your dashboard and see if your rating changed based on what that passenger rated you. Because it did happen to me. Like I had this one passenger last week that clearly wasn't happy with my service, because we have this transit center, the Old Town Transit Center, it's called, in San Diego, where it's just this big parking lot basically with trains and buses and all this stuff, and the pin can be dropped. It's never accurate really to where it is, so I just go to where the pickup locations are, because I just don't worry about the pin specifically. I go where a pickup location is in that area. And so I drove past this person to the pickup location, which was only like 100 feet away. Drove him. He called me up. He says, hey, you passed me. You have to turn around. And I was like, hey, you mind coming to me? Because if I turned around, it would have been a pain in the ass going around and back, because there was, I would have to have gone. It would have been dumb. It would have been dumb for me to actually turn around and try to get to him, because I could see him in my rearview mirror, and he came walking around the corner. I picked him up. You could tell he was not happy, because then once I dropped him off at his location, my rating went down shortly after that. A significant amount. It went down to like a 9.88, I think was the lowest it was, or 4.88. It was last week, but now it's back up to a 4.92, which is great. Just rocking it that way. So basically, we finally know what Lyft is going to do with the star ratings, as they're giving it to us on the dashboard. So we are seeing it in the moment on the dashboard, how we're progressing along in terms of ratings, which is, I don't know, I like it. I like to kind of know what's going on in that way. All right, I think that's it for that. All that stuff on the side is probably scrolled on by now. If you have any questions for me regarding ratings or money, feel free to comment on this video. Let me know. I'm going to look how much time I have. It says I have 5 minutes, so let's see if I can get through this next section in 5 minutes. Taxes. Basically, so probably will take longer than 5 minutes, so let's see how this goes. Basically, with taxes, so I've been telling you I would report to you about what happened for me with taxes. Let me roll back a little bit. 2017, February, basically, January, February, I moved to San Diego. I decided for myself I'm going to be self-employed. By lift, and then also my art, my clutches, one of them's on the wall, my music, you might be able to see microphones and things, the videos I make, just basically everything I do, I balled up into my business I call Orange Peel Collective. I used to have I had this song called Orange Peel, and I used to go by Orange Peel Productions, but that was taken, so anyways, call myself Orange Peel Collective. Everything I do is under Orange Peel Collective. So I started this whole thing. I got a business license. I did, all this stuff. I got my tax ID. I got everything I needed to do to become a business, to be able to sell products and all this stuff. So I did all that. So in that process, is where I started to kind of figure out what I needed to do to account for taxes through the year. I hired a CPA to help me out. At the time, at the beginning of the year, he advised me, I was sending my first quarter of information. He was like, you really don't owe anything because you're not making enough based on your expenses and all that stuff. But it's safe to just send some money, basically, is what he's saying. So I got into the rhythm of sending $300. I sent $300 a quarter for Social. He was mentioning there's a difference between Social Security tax stuff and your income tax and all this stuff. So I just sent the IRS $300 a quarter every quarter through the year, just to cover my base, just in case things came up. And as well as you've heard me report on old videos, I would always set aside basically $100 a week, which I dipped into here and there and different things, but I set aside money every week to cover that amount plus whatever may come up at the end of the year, not only the charge for my CPA, but also just, I didn't know, I had no idea what was going to happen. So tax time comes around, as you heard me report. My CPA was a little bit behind the schedule that I wanted him to be. I sent him all my information right away because I just wanted to take care of it soon and not wait, but he, I guess, was busy with other clients or different things, but basically the week before tax was due was when he really started to communicate with me. So we got it together. He started reporting to me what he was filing and all this stuff, and the short answer to it is I'm actually getting money back from the government because of what happened. So let me explain how it all happened. So as I said, I paid $300 a month, which became, or not a month, but a quarter, which became $1,200 for the quarter. So they had some of my money. Lyft. So I'm a full-time driver with Lyft, and as being a full-time driver, so it means I made it over. I think it's a $20,000 threshold. I can't remember. I should have wrote it down, but Lyft sends you a 1099 if you make a certain amount. So I got two 1099s from Lyft. One had to do with like the ride payments, and one had to do with like bonuses and things like that. So I got the two collected together. Those two together, according to Lyft, I made around 50 grand for the year. But I was like scratching my head. It's like, how is that possible when my deposits that you see every week didn't even come close? I mean, I don't know, define close. I made like 35 grand for the year through all these numbers that I sent you, so roughly around that much. And I was like, how is that possible? Why is it such a big discrepancy between what they? So it's like Lyft includes everything. Everything you make, they're including. They're not including the stuff that you don't make. The fees and different things that come out. So you have to track all that yourself. So there's that part of it going into it. So I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. So they include all that, but then just being a business owner, there's a whole bunch more deductions that you can, this room, like household, like using this office as part of my business, using, tracking my miles, the rental car, all the different things factor in. And yes, I'm still not 100% clear on how it works, but I did, based on your guys's kind of questioning around this, you said to me multiple times, because I rent, miles don't count the same way. I said that specifically to my CPA. Basically, he said, okay. So I don't know how all the math worked out perfectly, but he was aware of it. I was aware of it. You're aware of it. We're all aware of it. He still did his thing the way he did it, and that's just part of why I hired a CPA, so I don't have to know it all myself. I'd like to get more educated as I go, but I made it very clear in all my emails. This is what I've heard is miles, and so I guess he did the math the way he felt it was appropriate to deduct miles as well as knowing that I was renting for most of the year as well. So there's two factors there. Then there's also the deductions of being a head of household, because I get to claim one of my children on my taxes, so I'm head of household, and that's the biggest part of the deductions. In a way, because of that, the government basically gives you money, from what I understand. They give you a credit towards your taxes, and because I paid some, and also had, so my adjusted gross income came to about $20,000. So because that's not a lot, $20,000, when the government says you make $20,000, they're like, yeah, you don't make squat. So they try to help you out in some ways. And so one of those ways is if you're a parent, if you're a head of household, if you can claim head of household, they give you some money for being that. And I don't know, refer to your tax laws and all that stuff to understand why they do that. I don't know why they do that totally, but it's there. It's part of it. So basically, I'm getting some money back. The bottom line is I'm getting some money back. So the moral of this story essentially is, set yourself up as a business for one. And I think what I'm learning is that even if you're a part-time driver, set yourself up as a business. And everything you're doing that you're like maybe a hobby or whatever, because it really doesn't cost that much up front. It's like a few $100s to get a business license and all that stuff squared away. But then you can claim all the stuff that you're working on as part of your expenses toward that business, even if you don't make any money on it. So that's one thing to consider. And of course, the value, I paid $350 for my CPA to help me out. And for me, the ease of mind on that goes way beyond saving $350 trying to do it myself. So consider that. Go like, okay, set aside $400 or whatever to hire a CPA, and just always track everything. I use QuickBooks, or Quicken actually, on my Macintosh. I use Quicken. I track every single thing. All the money that goes through my life is tracked on there. And I have multiple accounts. I have my business account, I have my personal account, and I try to make sure every business expense goes through my business account, so that that's easier to track, and different things like that. So everything is tracked, and so you know where all your money is, and then you can print reports for your CPA, and then you guys can go through it together and go like what counts, what doesn't count, and all those kind of things. I don't even think, because I had so many deductions and so much expenses, I don't even think my CPA used all of them. He just used the big ones and was like, okay, we'll just use these to count against it, to file on your taxes. So that's the bottom line on that. I hope that, I feel like this is not very helpful, because I'm not telling you how to do it or what to consider. Because the other thing regarding taxes is it's changing next year. 2018, things are changing. They're not going to be the same way they've been for a long time. Our president has signed into effect a different tax requirements and all this kind of stuff. So it affects us as rideshare drivers, what we can claim on our expenses. So another great reason to hire somebody to help you figure it out. And it's not really, honestly, $300, $400 or whatever it may cost you to hire a CPA in the grand scheme, if you put that money aside as you go, instead of waiting till the last minute, it shouldn't be too much of an expense on you to. And then it's also another thing you can write off, because it's a business expense. But anyways, if you have any questions for me that I might be able to answer around some of that stuff, feel free to let me know. I hope I made it somewhat clear, but basically it's just I didn't make enough to pay any taxes. So I didn't pay any taxes essentially this last year. And so it's like, what am I going to do for coming up? And I don't think I'm going to worry about paying quarterlies. I'm just going to put money aside still, just in case, because I know my personal business expenses are a bit lower, because I've been so focused on just driving that I'm not doing as much, like with other things. So my expenses aren't as high in terms of material costs and different things I work on in my own other business stuff. So I'll report again next year about this time. I'll tell you what my 2018 taxes were all about. But this is what happened this year. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. And yeah, I'll let you know based on my experience. Again, remember, these videos are my experience, and I'm just kind of telling you what I'm experiencing. I don't claim to know any really definitive things. I just know what I know, and this is what I did. And I'm recording it for you, and hopefully it's of value to you. One thing I did want to follow up on, so going forward on these videos, like I said at the beginning, the last video I made, I didn't quite wrap it up quite nicely. I was just telling you I was kind of slowing down and stopping these videos but you know, I'll space them out. I'll tell you things here and there. But like I said on my Instagram, so Instagram, RideShareZim on Instagram is where I'm kind of tracking my money stuff a little bit closer, a little bit more. Every Tuesday or so I do like a weekly summary post so you can see what I did and things like that. And feel free to ask questions on my Instagram, that's fine. And then also, well, and what I'm planning to do going forward is like, I'm almost, as you see in my display, I'm like 48 rides away from 7,000 rides. And I'm probably won't do one for 7. I was going to make this video about 7,000 ride video, but because I had that question on my Instagram and taxes and stuff, it all kind of came together at the same time. I was going to make a 7,000 ride video, but I'll wait until 8,000 rides. So 8,000, 9,000, and I have this personal goal to make sure I hit 10,000 rides, and I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. So I'll just be reporting to you at least every 1,000 rides. So it'll be spaced out fairly, because I do like 120 rides a week. So we're looking at, 7 or 8 weeks between each one. So every 2 months or so, I'll be making a video at least. So hopefully that's cool with you. But otherwise, if you found this video because you want to become a driver, use my referral code, ZIM200, and you and I both get a bonus. Like I mentioned at the top, we had Daniel from Tampa Bay use it, so you can use it in whatever city you're in, and you and I both get a bonus. If you're in San Diego, currently it's $450 bonus, and it varies, the amount varies. Like the one Daniel's bonus was only $50, but it was worth it enough for him to use my code, and he made $50. I made $50. We each made $1 on each ride that he made, and so yay! So it was pretty awesome. And then that's it. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thumb it up if you're digging on it. Share it around if you think it's of value to more than just you and me. And remember to be good to each other. And I hope your rides are long and your tips are big.